So, like I was saying, I redid this video like I don't know 2 or 3 times now, but um, coffee. Yeah, I was thinking about like shit. It's probably a lot of revenue in selling coffee, selling anything. Being in retail, sales, all that shit. However you want to word it. It's basically I was saying that a lot of people do a lot of things just out of loyalty. I work in McDonald's, and that's exactly what I'm looking forward to when I go is customer loyalty. Because a lot of these things, I guess the way it's a lot of things associated with a success rate. Some people will be like, well, if you realize, if your body isn't conditioned a certain way, you will realize that certain things you might not want to put in it, for a period of time, or, like meat and stuff like that. You'll watch what you eat, but you're also loyal, you know what I'm saying? So, it's about respect too, because sometimes there are people that probably eat a lot, like they said, where they have good immune system, they have good organs working the way they need to, and you won't be able to tell this and that and the third, and people can use that against you in the workplace and all that stuff. People be like, well, you fat, you eat too much grease, your body is not processing food right, blah, blah, blah. But it comes with the territory, and I think maturity is something maturity is something that I learned at an early age, but also you can't let people step all over you. I mean, I really hope that I'm not viewed as a dumb person for coming to my own defense at times, but it really makes no sense to me that we have actually, it does make sense, but not really. But we have, a concept of submission out here, and people saying that once a man stimulates you with his penis, you really need to play the role of a woman, and that's why we have the crime of rape. Because at the end of the day, you ain't got to. Because some people, you just never know how they started their interactions with the opposite gender or the same gender or whatever, and it really could have been against their own will. You know what I'm saying? So it's all about how, I live in a democracy, government, and it's about the people. You know what I'm saying? I definitely believe in the crime of rape and, misogyny and all that stuff. And I definitely don't think that people should be forced into lifestyles and things against their own will. And I definitely think that at the end of the day, it's a bittersweet situation. Like I say, if me and a guy that had sex with me that's viewing me as a submissive compete for a job at a security place, then they would probably say, no, she's the weaker vessel in the situation. Let's go ahead and let him take her job. So just, I'm glad that I value, learning, because a lot of things that have naturally agitated me, people are using it against me. I'm like, I can't help what emotional state someone puts me in. If you're a man, you really want to make a woman happy. You know what I'm saying? And there's no negotiating, there's no doubt. You love somebody or you don't. So with all that being said, I don't blame any of the men for trying to plot on my downfall because of my womanhood and because of my emotional state and how something affected me. You know what I'm saying? And it's an egotistical nature that comes with, certain things that happen to you. And some be like, well, I'm the reason this, that, and the third. That's not the type of person that I would respect. But it's okay. I would know if I were to actually have a kid, I would not raise my child to feel unsafe. You know what I'm saying? You can't help who raises you. I was not taught to like men at an early age. You see what I'm saying? I was not taught to have sex. I wasn't taught to be gay or straight. You see what I'm saying? You try to let your children be free, but sometimes situations happen. You know what I'm saying? I don't care how game banging and shit. You see how contradicted the streets is. It's just a cutthroat mentality. Don't let them game you. I'm like, the way some of these men are is like, man, should I teach my little girl how to have sex? Because if she ain't around me, you know what I'm saying? Those are the things you got to think about when you have children. Because what if she's not used to the idea of being with a man and she gets raped? It's going to traumatize her even more. So that's just how it is. You have to, as you get older, what I'm learning is they wanted to teach me to debate. It all happened naturally. Sometimes you're learning things against your own will, and there are people that really are jealous of the way that you live. That's what a hater is. I'm like, I want to be by myself for the rest of my life. I don't have to give no man, no baby to prove to him that I'm sympathetic with him. Ain't nobody got to sympathize with no nigga. My mama didn't have to sympathize with her ex-husband because his mom dead. You want people to sympathize with you. You either take that shit and rock with it, or you know what I'm saying? All that stuff just make me realize that the pedestal that I put men on, they're not as emotionally inclined as they seem. So it just let me know that there is there are men that are in an emotional state, and sometimes they're out of control of themselves too. Because what um my personal life experiences, they were sitting there trying to make it seem like, well, I'm like, I just experienced an emotional decline. Ain't nothing I can do about that. There are people out here that really think that they're more emotionally capable of handling situations. I don't think that I'm exempt from crime, but what I do know is from everything that I've studied, these men really want me to feel angry because they're raping me. It is Rape is a sexual crime. It is also a way of control. Let you know that you are nothing. That's what they want me to look at it like. I got people that really want me to sit here and have some type of intellectual subject matter, go all deep about this shit just so they can prove that they think that they are a better person than me. I don't care if you're a better person than me or not. I'm a woman from Georgia. There's not too much weight that my name can hold. I see what type of people get put on pedestals. The more intellectual avenues that I cross, that's just some that nobody can take away from me. Regardless if I get the recognition for it or not. I'm like, I cannot judge these people because these men are so in denial. I'm like, why wouldn't I be jealous of manhood? Why wouldn't I want to just, if I was a man, I would just have a girlfriend. Wouldn't nobody be questioning me about shit. I wouldn't be questioning myself. I'm like, a man interacting with me was supposed to give me confidence. That's how you know you like men. But since it didn't give me confidence, that means I don't like men. See? Simple. Now, that women at early ages, 2 and 3 fucking 4, 5, 6, 7 years old, are being raised to be dominatrix because of being introduced to sexuality earlier, will they ever be taken seriously in life? It makes no sense. You can either agree with me or don't. You don't have to agree with me. It's not normal behavior. I think kids should be a kid, like the PBS commercial. I believe that if we raise certain kids to stay in a child's place, like I was taught, and they don't get exposed to sexuality and things of that nature, they won't have any emotional downfalls and they will make for a better community and better people. But since kids are growing up too fast and they don't know what they're talking about, it don't make no sense. That's all I'm saying. When I was a kid and I used to see my peers have sex, we didn't look right. I'm like, look at this. It was some random dude named Rob Mason. I seen him have sex with a girl and he didn't even look right to me. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, your mannerisms, your motor skills are kid-like. It doesn't look right. So that's all I was trying to tell them people. Like, I know based off the way that things are, I know that I can, it's a lot of intellectual avenues that I have to cross to really get more of an optimistic outlook on just life in general, because there have been some challenges to where I'm feeling negative and thinking negative. That's not a positive thought for me, being a kid and somebody having sex and sexually harassing me. But kids learn that behavior from somewhere. And that's why we got the ghetto mind state. Like Trick Daddy be saying, and Master P, it's a ghetto mind state that people have, and thank God that people are making raps venting about their actual lives in the ghetto. That way, if there are people that have more of, I guess, a better way of life, or a more or a different life, then they can learn from each other. Because I mean, honestly, like I said, being from the ghetto, a ghetto mind state, it's pretty much all in our heads, I think. But it's really not. Some people really think that they really live that life. Like, I really stay in these apartments. I really stay right here on these steps. Everybody know to come buy my weed for me right here every day, all day. I sleep on these steps. I eat, live, and shit this shit. And it's understandable. But there are gonna be places where you go where they don't give a fuck about this shit. Some people will cross intellectual avenues to where they don't matter. That's why I said, as a woman, if I was a female, I wouldn't have had to deal with half the shit I would have been dealing with. I would have been fucking hoes and everybody would have been keeping their mouth closed. That's how it works. I'm like, I don't see none of these men get questioned about shit they do. They do push-ups, sit-ups, squats, straddle hop, whatever the fuck they doing, and ain't nobody questioning about them. They just being viewed as muscle. Ain't no doubt, none of that. So I'm like, well, I don't blame y'all niggas for sitting here plotting on my downfall for my femalehood, because the stigma is that we're feminine and, most of us are lazy, sitting back on a pillow waiting for a nigga to fuck us. That ain't me. I mean, and if that is you, I don't give a damn. But that's how it worked. That's why I was saying I done did so much analyzing and listen to the logical men and women in my life. I feel as though it's gonna take intellect for me to get. I'm gonna have to live the same lifestyle as the average Joe. You know what I'm saying? Because if I get some money in my pocket, if I got enough game, which is really just intellect and playing with somebody's head with words, or you could just be being honest. You can talk somebody into submitting to you. So with all that being said, just be careful. You know what I'm saying? Out here in this world, a lot of people, won't respect your struggle, and that's cool too. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people will say, well, that's why I didn't understand some of these women in my life. I was like, it was a girl sitting there telling me, nah, what she really wanted to say is, man, I know it's people out here that don't live the same good life I have. Let me make sure they a target. That's what I felt like she was doing. Well, I know niggas that ain't got nothing but 1 foot. You sitting here, no. You want to make sure that you have a social following,